Oh, okay. I forgot to test this damn mic out before we started. Oh, I hope I got it set right. Oy vey. Oh, yeah. Okay, now, hopefully there'll be some folks joining us. I don't know. It's a Wednesday, but just some weird stuff going on. And I just can't believe the horse shit that's being put out by the Mirror, especially that article I talked about yesterday. Now, for you folks who've not seen it, you're starting to come in now. Okay, come here. I promise I won't hurt you. Maybe. Okay. So yeah, look, there's a few handful of people. All right. Well, anybody there? Come on, type something. Say hi. Are you hearing me? I am sitting here with a psychological boner. Okay. So they say that got rid of somebody. Yeah, we'll talk about Netflix in a minute. All right. All right. Well, maybe we should talk about it now while everybody's coming in here. I've watched the first 4 episodes of season 4 of Lucifer. And it's really great to see that fans can still have a voice and save television shows. Okay, give me a hell yeah if you're hearing me okay out there, because I forgot to check the mic before I started this thing. So give me a hell yeah. Oh, sorry, that's just me messing around. It's nice to know, yeah, that fans still have a voice in the community about programs and all that, because when Lucifer got canceled, the network was just completely unaware of how many people were watching this show. They were basing their decision. I think they just made a safe call, because you got to remember, Lucifer, probably in the Bible Belt, was not being received all that well. Because there's still a lot of folks out there who, matter of fact, I have a couple friends of mine that are like, you watch a show that glorifies the Dark Lord. And I'm like, yeah, because it's a fiction. The show is. Just like people were standing outside, protesting Dogma when it came out. And I think it's one of the funniest damn movies and one of the best performances of Alan Rickman. But, and I don't know why, but people, get so edgy. It's like, what you believe is what you believe. What other people say about it, that's their opinion. And if it doesn't match yours, and oh well. But there we go. That'll do it for now. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I forgot to fill this thing up too. I know I'm exciting the shit out of me, but I wanted to get a few more people in here because there's something I really want to talk about when we get a few folks in. And it has a lot to do with the article that the Mirror put out, which to me was just a blatant attack on Doctor Who, because it made it sound like something that it wasn't. Okay, we got 6 whopping people in here on a Wednesday. Well, I'm just shocked. I wanted to start this one a bit earlier, but I was watching Lucifer. I lost track of time. How many here watched Lucifer? Out of all 7 of you. Let me know. Am I even there? Do you want me to get naked and dance around like a screaming ogre? Because I won't do it. I've signed an exclusive no nudity clause. Last time I got naked and ran around outside, people started phoning in Bigfoot sightings, and it panicked the local populace. Okay. Okay, well, I got a few of you. We'll get started. The Mirror put out this article yesterday about, the BBC sending questionnaires to fans, and it made it sound like they were sending it out to just be like spamming. And the thing is, the people who got those questions and questionnaires are the people who signed up for them. And they're making it sound like, oh my God, we're throwing it out to the fans in desperation because we ain't got an idea what to do in the next series. And I'm loving how, like I said, it's just, That's not what happened. People who want to can sign up for questionnaires and surveys to be sent to you by the British Broadcasting Corporation. It started back, I think, way back towards the beginning of the or later part of the Smith, I think early Capaldi era. And that's when I knew something was going wrong, when one of the questions that started getting included was, what do you think of Peter Capaldi's performance as the Doctor? I knew when that question started showing up that something was going to happen. Because really, it's like, but I was just ticked off at the fact that there was a lot of people. Sorry, let me gather my thoughts here. You've got assholes running around right now screaming that Doctor Who is bleeding fans and it's losing, but meanwhile, it had the highest average ratings it's had since 2013. Okay. Also, the fact that during the Capaldi era, sadly, because I loved Peter as the Doctor, the ratings really hit the floor. I was really out there trying to cheerlead for the show. And I'm sitting there going, where's all the channels saying that Capaldi's killing Doctor Who, Moffat should go? Well, then again, everybody was saying Moffat should go, I think, from the beginning. Exactly. You're sub to it. You got it. You're subscribed to it. And they're making it sound like in this article that people were getting spammed and all that, and that they're in some desperation. No, this happens all the time. So I don't know why the Mirror made such a big deal about this survey thing, because it's business as usual. It's not anything out of the ordinary. Exactly. That's the Mirror, though, ain't it? The Mirror to what? My butt! Okay, all right. But the thing is this. Yeah, the Daily... No, well, what happened was the other article that I was talking about yesterday was the one where, yeah, they were quoting, I think it was the Daily Mail or the Daily Star, and I'm like, I think it was the Metro, where they were saying there was going to be a Christmas special. Yeah, this year. It's like, that's called wishful thinking, folks. If it's not been filmed soon or now, probably not. And the thing is, as I brought up before, why would you go back to New Year's? Why would you go back to Christmas? Me personally, I wish they'd go back to Saturdays. I really would. But I think part of the problem was Doctor Who on Saturday wasn't cutting it anymore. And somebody up front said, look, I want it to go to Sunday. And there's this other myth going around that Chris Chibnall's the one who decided to kick this year off. No. I'm sorry, especially when the info is coming from a disgruntled former employee of the British Broadcasting Corporation. It's just amazes the shit out of me. Because, like I said, that's the head of programming's decision. That's not Chris Chibnall's decision. It's like, come on, this guy's only in his first year of running it. Yeah, he's been a success, but he ain't got enough under his belt for him to walk in there and start demanding, I want a year off, bam. No. Now, I think the big reason if Doctor Who is losing viewership, the way they did, especially during the Capaldi era, because he suffered the aftermath of it, was the damn series skips, the split series, the gap years. They took a gap year during the Capaldi era, which was unnecessary. Personally, I think Clara should have left a hell of a lot sooner than she did. Because keeping her around, now look, they eventually turned her into Clara Dos Ex Machina, the Super Mary Sue that everyone denies she is. Oh, hello, everybody. Yeah, all you folks come in and have a seat. Join us. All right, thanks, Scott, for saying that. Because, like I said, I didn't believe it either. I really did, because it really I'm hearing, like I said, please don't take this as solid, written on stone tablets yet. But originally, I was hearing for Series 12, March of 2020. And I've also heard another source of mine say it could be as early as January. I'll believe it when I see it on the schedule. Okay. I'm just going off what little info I do have. And the thing is, when Chibnall came in and took over, it wiped out a lot of my sources. June, July of what, 2020? Let's say it won't be this year. No, it won't be this year. Nope. Yeah, all right. Oh, all right. So you are talking about 2020. Okay, that's not bad, actually, compared to October, to be honest with you. Yeah, my head is always naked. Matter of fact, it's almost, yeah, like I said, it's time for the great shearing. It's coming soon because the weather is getting caught up. That's a good question. Like I said, I don't keep track of the Olympics. I quit watching professional sports and all that stuff a long time ago because it just lost its appeal for me. I was only ever really watching football because of the local team. And then once you realize the evil circle, of death that all of our professional sports teams had. You see, I lived near a place, for you folks who are not aware of it, Cleveland, Ohio. And it was the same thing from the baseball to the basketball to the professional football team. And I call it the vicious circle of death. Because all it was is they'll go out every so often. They'll bring in really good new promising players. They'll start winning a bit. The players will get known. And remember, this is all these teams, baseball, basketball, and football. And then they trade them off and bring in a new set of rookies. And then they go off to other teams and win Super Bowls. So, or Final Four, whatever. So that's why I quit watching it, because it just became so predictable. It was scary. Yeah, they need to bring these shows back to at least 12 episodes minimum with a Christmas special. And you'll notice how they never really told you they were dumping an episode for Capaldi. It magically disappeared. So, okay, so you are building a new Olympic village. Hey, keep that Galuli guy away from everybody. Oh yeah, if any of you remember that. Now that'll date me a bit. The whole Tanya Harding thing. Okay, so any questions, concerns, ideas? Okay, I'll keep talking then. What the hell? I'm currently working on part 6 of What Lies Beneath. I was really hoping to have this one done a lot sooner, but real life stepped in. I got stuck with some overtime. I got stuck with some other things that happened. Oh God, no, don't go back to China. That's not snow you're skiing on. That's the accumulated toxic waste from the cities. That's concentrated smog. They're going down the other smog slope. Well, Classic Who, you got to remember. Somebody brought it up. Wasn't Classic Who lacking Christmas specials? The point was, you have to remember, classic stories generally were cut into 25-minute bits, and they were aired, week to week. And there was only one time, I think, Feast of Stephen was a Christmas reference. And other than that, I don't think Christmas really got mentioned much, except, actually, it may not have been to the new series, because they might have been playing it safe. I'm really stretching my brain here, trying to remember if Christmas was even really played on, other than the infamous, Hartnell breaking the fourth wall, bit. How many here have Big Finish? Anybody? I listened to the latest Doctor, Third Doctor Adventures, and it was just mind-boggling, because you have Tim Treloar as the Doctor, you have the young lady who's Caroline John's daughter, and I'm sorry, I don't have a list in front of me right now. I can't remember the actress's name, who's doing Liz Shaw. Then you also had John Levine was back for this one as Sergeant Benton. And John Colshaw, I remember that name very distinctly, was doing Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. And the thing is, these guys are, guys, well, ladies, guys, and gals. And of course, the infamous Katie Manning. You can't, have, an adventure in that era without her. They basically are reenacting the third. Matter of fact, yeah, they're reenacting the Third Doctor era, and even the music is right out of that time. It really is. It's really well done. If you sit there, put this on, you're at work, it's like you're, watching a Third Doctor episode, a Pertwee episode in your head. And it's really, really amazing stuff. Okay, someone brought up, crap, and I just missed it. Yes, I did see the Louis Capaldi video, and it was really, really touching. Oh my God, I think I squirted out a couple of tears, to be honest with you, because Capaldi is such an amazing actor. That video is just such touching. I mean, it's very so touching, and it's such a, deep subject. It's just, damn, I watched that and I was like, picture me, I was like this, I was like, but with tears starting to come out of each eye. I was like, oh man. Yeah, sadly, Peter Capaldi should have been around for another year, and they screwed him out of it. They really did, because, they skipped the 1 year for no damned reason. Then they decide, they keep, I don't know why. Like I said, I don't have a problem with Jenna Coleman. Well, not really, not much of one, but the thing is, they shouldn't have dragged her back for another season. That right there, Bill Potts or somebody else should have came in sooner, because I loved Bill Potts. It was a nice, refreshing change. And sadly, that's all, all the companions he's really basically going to have. He walked in, he inherited Clara. Clara hung on for her, and then Bill Potts came in. That's it. So I was really hoping they'd give him a nice ensemble to work with, because I really loved how, anybody here remember Time Heist? Yeah, because I loved how he worked with that ensemble there. And, I was hoping they'd do something along that line where, he could work with an ensemble, because he's an amazing guy. But yeah, I would love to see Big Finish animated as well. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. And the problem, this is why. While they have the rights to do an audio story of pretty much everything and everyone in, Doctor Who, up to, I think, the Capaldi era now, just at the beginning, at the beginning of it. Every script that they do at Big Finish is sent to the BBC to be approved. We got this last year from Sophie Aldred, I believe it was, and Lisa Bowerman. Because Lisa Bowerman actually sat down when we had her online. If you look up the video in the interviews playlist, and it's an hour and a half. We literally just started sitting there and we were bouncing. Everyone had such a great time. We lost track of time. And I didn't want to keep her up all night. Or did I? But basically, this is what happens. You have the rights to do it in an audio medium. But when you go to an animation, that means you're transferring to a visual medium. And guess what's going to happen? The BBC are going to say no. Because they, as they've said continually, ever since Moffat took over, and I think before, having another doctor on screen will confuse the audience. Not if you call it the something Doctor Adventures. And it seems to me like they're avoiding that now so they can probably shoehorn in another one for the 60th anniversary special. Oh, man, I just got to sit down and do that documentary this year. I just want to do a hardcore, bit-by-bit editorial, A Day of the Doctor, and get it over with so I can put Error of the Zygons out of my mind at the 8th anniversary special. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly the point, John. They're contracted to do audios, but when you go to if you transfer anything from one format to another, that's a whole nother contract that's got to be dealt with. And like I said, I don't think they'll ever let Big Finish go to a video contract or anything like that. No, it's not, or animations. I'm hoping they start animating the Lost stories more and more, because there's a lot of us out here. Like I said, I've tried watching telesnaps. I can't do it. I'm not kidding. I seriously, I was like, I'm not. It's just for some reason telesnaps knock me out. It just makes my chin hit my chest every time. Yes, I have seen Avengers Endgame, Matthew. I thought it was a very good tie-up. You know, considering the fact that you have all these different characters, they tied it up very, very well. A lot of people are saying this, that, these, and those, but don't worry, I'm not going to give away any spoilers, Heather. Don't worry, I ain't going to go into detail. Heather, you're going to cry at the end. That's all I'm going to say. Because there was a point when they got to the end, and I don't worry, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but your almighty Doctor Who hero, was in tears. Yeah, it was a very sad ending. No, I don't have that kind of coffee tonight, guys. I just have tea tonight. But I know what you're referring to about the, yeah, you're going to cry your eyeballs out. Yeah, Karen Gillan is a force to be reckoned with now. Considering she's doing her own project, she's producing and directing her own movies. Plus the fact she's got that mad Marvel money. Jumanji 2 is, I think, filming, or has finished filming, sorry. If you go over to her Instagram page, she had a lot of pics and stuff there from the Jumanji 2 shoot. I just like that movie she did called Not Another Happy Ending. And for you guys who have seen it, you'll know why. Yeah, Dave Tennant, he's getting mad Disney money. Between doing, he did a voice for Star Wars. Doing, of course, Scrooge McDuck. Like that's a stretch. Yeah, Karen Gillan's on top of the world, man. She really is. I don't think you're ever going to see Torchwood back. I'm sorry. You're not. It's not going to happen. And Miracle Day pretty much killed Torchwood dead. And the only person you have to blame for that is Russell T Davies. I hate to say it, but it was like he took. All right, for you folks, how many here have seen Miracle Day? How many here of you have seen that, and that's time you can't get back? Okay, come on, just anybody. Miracle Day, Torchwood, the last series of it. Okay, Matthew, good. Don't do it. It's time you will never get back. Okay. Miracle Day was basically like a 5-episode script that they stretched out into a 10-episode miniseries. Oh, man, it was horrible. You had these... all right, I can understand you want to throw some nudity in now that you're on Stars. You could have done that on BBC, I think, pretty much anyway, if you wanted to, after a certain time on the air. But yeah, it was filler, unnecessary sex scenes that dragged on. Oh, look, there's Captain Jack. He's doing the hubba with a guy again. And like I said, I don't mind sex scenes, whether they be homo, hetero, or whatever. But the problem is at least make it like integral to some kind of moving forward of the plot. They were just gratuitous sex scenes thrown in. And then it was other waste of time shit. Like I said, the best part was seeing Eve Miles in a dress. Well, adds Gwen Cooper. That's an incredible scene there. I was like, okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Hi, Mike. How you doing? So yeah, Russell T Davies, you could tell at this point, was burning out. It's just he just really dropped the ball on Miracle Day. It was fucking horrible. As they say for Guardians of the Galaxy in the comic, it was flarking horrible. My God, it sucked ass. It really did. And the saddest part is, after watching Children of Earth, And then they went to that. Went from here to basically they went from the top of the Mount Everest down to somewhere about the bottom of the Marianas Trench. Oh man. Okay, I haven't heard anything about a Doctor Who movie. They're trying to keep that from happening. There was one director who was entertaining the thought, and then Moffat was jumping up and down saying, "There will not be a Doctor Who movie while I'm around." And it's like, if the BBC sold somebody the rights and says you can go do this movie, the showrunner of the television show ain't got shit to say about it. But I just don't see it happening. Even though they've gotten some pretty good returns on people showing up for certain events and things like that they've done in theaters, it ain't gonna happen. Yeah, there was a swear word they use in the Guardians of the Galaxy comics. I was listening to the audio of Rocket and Groot Steal the Galaxy or something like that it's called, and it was really funny as hell because Gamora comes in a bit later, and it's just a hell of a story. Damaged Goods. Oh, why should I know that? I know that one. That's one they turned into a Big Finish audio. That's why I know the title. Yeah, Big Finish did one of that, Damaged Goods. My favorite, though, I think I got a lot of favorites on Big Finish because the ones that always spring to mind are like the Nowhere Place, Spare Parts, Sword of Orion. The last, the whole Eighth Doctor series was fantastic. The Eighth Doctor Adventures. And I'm talking, before they went into Ravenous, Dark Eyes, I'm talking the Eighth Doctor Adventures were fantastic. The ones he did with Lucy Miller, Sheridan Smith. Fantastic stuff. And I might have to go back and listen to that series again. It's been too long because I kind of miss it. We just did an audio review this week of how many here are familiar with the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show? Anybody? Give me a hell yeah if you've heard of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show. No, you haven't? Okay. Anybody else heard of it? All right, if you haven't, go listen to it. You can pretty much find what you need on their Facebook page. I think they're also on Spreaker, iTunes, and a bunch of other places. And I've been sitting in with them for a little while every now and then. And I've been having a hell of a lot of fun with those guys. We just did one this week where we did a review of The Holy Terror. Anybody familiar with that one? Because the showrunner of Game of Thrones, which there are two, that's Something Hoff and Weiss, are going to be doing, all right, get ready for this, sit down. If things continue in motion, it looks like they're doing Knights of the Old Republic for Star Wars. So you're not going to see the Game of Thrones guys. Yeah, I don't think we've reviewed it, but it might be coming up. You see, they're going to start doing some Big Finish audio reviews. I might start doing them again over here on the Omega Files if we have time. It's just this year, like I said, I want to get a lot of stuff. My backyard's a total mess. All right, but the Holy Terror, for you folks who asked, Big Finish audio, involves a companion named Frobisher. Frobisher is a mesomorph who prefers to be in the form of a penguin. And trust me, listen before you judge it. He's basically a shapeshifter, but he prefers the form of a penguin, and he's funny as hell. But this one goes from being funny to going right down a dark corridor. It's called The Holy Terror. Look it up. It's a very good story. Valeyard return on Doctor Who. Now, Michael Jason's still around, but could he really do it? I don't know. It's up to him. But the thing is, it's a subject I don't think they want to touch. They're going to mention it a whole bunch of times. But the thing is, yeah, that's where he started out, Scott. You're right. He started out in the comic book strips, and he did a few Big Finish adventures here and there. I remember the Holy Terror, the Maltese Penguin. I could have swore there was more. Maybe there wasn't. But I loved Frobisher. Questions, inquiries. Maybe I should have turned the lights down to make this like that Game of Thrones episode. And that's another thing I can't believe people are bitching about. Oh, I couldn't see anything in the Game of Thrones episode. It took place at night. Duh. It's funny because I watched that same episode and didn't have a problem with it. It was a Big Finish. Holy terror. It was a Big Finish audio. Yeah, all hail the big talking bird. Yep. Doctor Who is never leaving the BBC. The BBC is a jealous woman. She'll never let it go. Never. Because it's too much of a cash cow. Doctor Who is still, despite all this bullshit reports from certain folks out there, Doctor Who is still pulling in somewhere around 60 to 65 million pounds a year in merchandising between all the nifty little cosplay coats that are officially licensed. Oh God, I don't want to say it because I'm not that bad. Get out and get your Doctor Who tampons. Oh God, I'm going to get hit for that. But like I said, I just don't understand the problem with the fandom. I've always supported the Doctor, no matter who they were, what actor was playing them. And yet, the thing is this: people were whining and crying about the fact that the Daleks, the Cybermen, and a lot of the other aliens who are common to Doctor Who were being overused. And when Chibnall comes out there, he tries to do something different. Now, it wasn't favorable to a lot of people. It wasn't the greatest season in the world, but he did try something different. You see, that's the thing. If you're going to evolve and change, you have to experiment. You have to do something different. Otherwise, you stagnate, you fall off the vine, and you croak. It's that simple. Yeah, I don't do countermeasures either, and I don't like class. I have not wasted my time on either of those. It's just nothing against the cast of those. It's not my cup of tea. I just couldn't get into it. I tried. I even tried listening to the class audios because Sophie Aldred was in one of them, but I just couldn't do it. It's just the show was so horrible. After about episode 3, it went right down the toilet, class. And the only other episode I was interested in after 3 was what Quill did. And, oh man, it was horrible. Well, the problem with that cliffhanger, and I know some people get tired of me saying this, but I have to say it. The Weeping Angels have partnered up with a group of aliens who appear to be human to take over a private academy in London to further their nefarious plan for what? Why would the Weeping Angels need a bunch of backbenching fake principals and administrators? Why would they need control of a private school in London to do what? That's what I mean. If you're going to have a cliffhanger, at least make it somewhere within the realm of belief. That right there threw suspension of disbelief right out the frickin' window, through the yard, out the yard, through the fucking black hole at Cygnus X1, through the white hole out the other side, and smacked into a star, making it supernova, wiping out a small galaxy in another universe. It was horrible. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. The problem with the Weeping Angels is this. He's like all about, well, you have to follow certain rules. Or the problem is, I agree with that. You have to follow rules with characters. Otherwise, they become omnipotent super beings. And the Weeping Angels went through that, beyond, and out the window with the Angels Rate Manhattan. And that's why I thought it was the shittiest departure episode for Companion I've ever seen. For one, why they dragged the Ponds back for 5 episodes is beyond me. They've never done that where a companion didn't get a full season of development. They threw Clara in there beginning with the Bells of St. John. Well, if you don't include her little appearance in back in Assholem of the Daleks. But my God. No, if they were going to do a spinoff, the only way you're going to make a success out of it is if you follow the formula of the Sarah Jane Adventures. There's a bunch of companions out there who are still in their 50s, such as Sophie Aldred, Sarah Sutton, I believe Nicola Bryant, who would happily, I'm just naming a few off the top of my head, who would happily do a series for the BBC, but they won't do it. Class to me seemed like they set it up to fail. It sounds like a mad conspiracy theory, but hear me out. Fans were demanding to have something to watch because they got tired of the gap years, the series splits. Then also with the Sarah Jane Adventures, you had something to watch while you were waiting for Doctor Who, along with Torchwood, by the way. Well, this is what happened. They bring in Class. They put Patrick Ness. They let him write all the episodes for it. That's a mistake. You can't have original programming or something like that when, come on. You're writing an entire season on your own? No. Also, when it did make it to the BBC, they originally put it on BBC Three, which was their new experimental online channel. Okay. But then they decided to finally air it on BBC One. When did they air it? Like 11 o'clock p.m. on Mondays, and they were airing it 2 episodes at a time. Well, the Rose Tyler Defender of the Earth spinoff was something they were considering all the way back in like series 2. They were originally considering having a continuing thing where Rose Tyler would have her own series in the alternate universe and all that, but it just never materialized. And that's why that still goes on, that story about Rose Tyler, Defender of the Earth. I can swear they're doing a big finish of it, aren't they? Also, a lot of fans were saying, well, we'd like a Paternoster Gang series. The problem with the Paternoster Gang idea, there's not a thing wrong with the characters. I don't give a shit what you say. We're talking about Vastra, Jenny, and Strax. The problem with the idea of that series is 2 of your 3 main cast are going to be in prosthetics. And whether you like it or not, even if you do like, say, 8 to 10 episodes, that means you've got to have them in costume, in makeup, like an hour and a half for basically, they got to show up an hour to 2 hours, depending on how extensive it is, before everyone else does. Get the makeup put on, then they got to shoot, then you got to spend about an hour and a half having the makeup taken off. So that right there means you're going to have to pay Neve McIntosh and Dan Starkey a lot of money. So that's what happens. That's why the Paternoster Gang, by the way, are going to be on Big Finish. They've already got a trailer out or a clip that I listened to the other day for that series. Sadly, the Paternoster Gang idea, which should have happened years ago, is now just happening. If it had happened, back then, they could have easily had crossovers with Jago and Lightfoot. But sadly, it's not to be. We've lost the fellow who played Professor George Lightfoot has passed away. George Baxter, I want to say. Forgive me, I'm going off the brain noggin. It's Trevor Baxter. Very sorry. Trevor Baxter has passed away. So likely not going to happen. They did do one where they had Jago and Lightfoot and Strax. You're never going to see Sally Sparrow again. I'm sorry, Matthew. It's called, that actress went on to win an Oscar, was nominated for one. You're never going to see her on there again. Nope. No chance in hell. Give me a second here. Carrie Mulligan. You're never going to see her again. Sorry, I did have to look it up. Because hang on, I want to double check something here real quick. I can't remember. Did she win any awards? I could have swore she was nominated for an Oscar or won one or something like that. And the second that happens, your dollar value goes up. Matter of fact, Olivia Colman. Yeah. Now that she's an Oscar winner, guess how much she's going to be getting paid. Originally, by the way, yeah, there were talks that what's her name? It'll hit me about a half hour when it ain't important. Freema Agyeman has gone on to a different career. She was on Sense8 for a bit. She's done the occasional show here and there. She's done some stage and things like that. Don't worry, we're tuning out in about 5 minutes, Derek. If you want to hang on for about another 5 minutes, we're out of here. I got to get my own butt off here because I got to get on the treadmill for about 20 minutes. Plus, I got to do the dumbbells here for a little bit. Sadly, you're never going to get anything away from Disney. You think Disney's going to let Thanos appear for free? So, any other questions or inquiries? 5 more minutes. Then I'm going to tune out. Yeah, SAF, she's going on to do other things. So, but Karen Gillan rules. I'm not kidding. It's like, I'm hoping. How many here heard about Matt Smith being in Star Wars? I'd love to come to the UK, but the problem is I'm on about 10 medications. No, actually, it's 9 medications. It's just my one pill's divided into 2. Writing is going pretty slow. Like I said, I see the end game in sight for What Lies Beneath. What happens is when I sit down and do a story, I hammer out the bullet points. And then the problem is when I'm doing these, I always get hit with ideas and it always goes off somehow. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too, Nick, is that he is some kind of, what do you call it, dark acolyte or Sith acolyte, and that he's going to be holding Palpatine's soul. Or some form of, consciousness transfer. Now, a lot of people are going, how do you know that's true? That's because I have this, me, and I don't know how many others, have the screen grabs of the cast list of the movie Rise of Skywalker. And guess what? Matt Smith and Dominic Monaghan's name are right there. And guess what happened? They magically disappeared. Who's writing in black? Because I can't see any of that. The thing is, I don't know why anybody's speculating on Chris Chibnall leaving, because it ain't happening anytime soon. Why did the writing go black? Because now I got to highlight it to read it. So something went weird there. I'll have to fix that later. Oh, well, let's get near that time. Maybe 1 or 2 more. I can't read anything now. It's all black text. Who the hell did that? Okay, that fixed it. I just did a couple clicks and now it's back to normal. Weird. I wonder how that happened. Probably a YouTube glitch. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so What Lies Beneath, like I said, for you folks who've tuned in on it, they're starting to figure out that there's a lot more going on with the monks than was originally thought. And so I've never read those. I've heard about them. Yeah, well, Matt Smith's name was on there, Derek. And so was Dominic Monaghan. But once it hit the net, 48 hours later, both their names are gone. I have the screen grab, though, that was sent to me from Disney.co.uk. My friend Elijah sent it to me, where it shows right there. There's Matt Smith and Dominic Monaghan's name right there with the rest of the cast. And then slowly, it's gone. I think she'll do the standard 3 years and out. I don't see her staying for any longer than anybody else has. Because, no, the reason why they pull their names is they don't want them showing up because they might play some kind of titular role in the movie. And they want it to be a surprise. Well, too late. I think episode 9, is December 20th, wasn't it? Something like that. I have to go look it up. Everyone, be sure to enjoy Star Wars Episode 9. We fix all of Rian Johnson's fuck-ups. Oh, man. Talk about going off script and going apeshit crazy. Well, folks, I'm going to go ahead and fade off into the distance here because I got some stuff I have got to get done. So, please take care of yourselves. Have a good one. I'm going to try to do some more of these over the coming weeks because, if I have the time. So, good night. Have a good one, folks.